In 2025, tens of thousands of visa holders could be told to pack their bags and leave Australia, and many won't even see it coming. Every year, over 1.6 million temporary visa holders live, work, and study here. But with new immigration rules rolling out, the clock is ticking for a large portion of them. Some will be caught by steep fee hikes, others by tougher income thresholds or unexpected age limits. And it's not just international students or new arrivals at risk. Even skilled workers and long-term residents could suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of the law. So, who exactly is safe and who might be forced out? The answers are not always obvious, and the fine print could decide your future in this country. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know all 10 reasons that could make 2025 a make-or-break year for thousands. Number 1. Higher income thresholds for skilled visas. One of the biggest changes shaking up Australia's immigration system in 2025 is the increase in the minimum income threshold for skilled visa holders. From the 1st of July 2025, migrants on skilled work visas will need to earn at least 4.6% more than the previous requirement to remain eligible. On paper, this might sound like a small adjustment, but in reality, it's a game changer. Many workers, especially those in regional areas or industries with lower pay scales, may suddenly find that their salary no longer meets the government's definition of skilled. This change is part of Australia's push to attract highly skilled and high-earning professionals, aiming to ensure that the migration program benefits the economy. However, it creates a clear dividing line. Those above the threshold can stay and thrive, while those just below it risk losing their visa status. Even experienced workers who have been in Australia for years could face problems if their employer can't or won't increase their pay. Imagine being settled here with a home, family, and community, and then discovering your future depends on a few thousand extra dollars on your contract. If you're in this position, the key is preparation. Don't wait for your visa renewal date to check where you stand. Review your salary now. If you're close to the threshold, start negotiating with your employer or exploring higher paying opportunities. It might also be worth looking at alternative visa pathways like employer-sponsored or regional visas, where the rules differ. The harsh truth is that in 2025, your payslip could decide your place in Australia, and the earlier you act, the better your chances of staying on the right side of the rules. Number 2. Visa application charge increases. If you thought visa fees were already expensive, 2025 is about to deliver a shock. From the 1st of July 2025, the cost of applying for many Australian visas has gone up, and in some cases, the increase is steep. For example, the student visa application fee has jumped to $2,000, a rise of 25% compared to the previous year. Skilled migration, family sponsorship, and even temporary work visas are also seeing price hikes. For individuals, this could mean stretching their budget to dangerous levels. For families applying together, it could be thousands more in upfront costs before even setting foot in Australia. The government says these increases are meant to help fund migration processing and border security, but for everyday applicants, it feels like another barrier to entry. Imagine saving for months or years to apply for a visa, only to find the price has gone up overnight. It's not just first-time applicants who are hit. Even renewals and extensions are affected. This means someone already living here on a temporary visa could suddenly find the renewal costs overwhelming, forcing them to reconsider staying. The solution? Plan and budget ahead. If your visa renewal or application is coming up within the next year, calculate the new charges now and set aside the funds early. For students, consider scholarships, grants, or employer sponsorships to help offset costs. For skilled workers, some employers may be willing to contribute to visa expenses, but only if you ask. In 2025, the price of entry has gone up, and those who prepare financially will stand a much better chance of securing their future in Australia without breaking the bank. Number 3. Tighter financial proof for student visas. For international students dreaming of studying in Australia, 2025 brings a new hurdle, and it's a big one. From July 2025, Student visa applicants must prove they have at least $29,710 available to cover living expenses, not including tuition fees. That's a significant jump from the previous requirement and could immediately price out thousands of potential students, especially from countries with weaker currencies. This isn't just about having money in the bank. It's about showing official proof through bank statements, financial guarantees, or sponsorships. The government's reasoning is that these changes will ensure students can afford the cost of living in Australia without struggling or relying on excessive part-time work. While that sounds reasonable, the reality for many students is more complicated. Some may have genuine access to funds, but struggle to document them in the exact format required. Others might find that sudden currency fluctuations, completely outside their control, could make their financial proof fall short at the time of application. It's a rule that can turn an exciting plan to study abroad into a race against time and exchange rates. If you're planning to apply for a student visa, start preparing months in advance. Ensure your funds are in a stable, accessible account and gather supporting documents early. If you can, secure a trusted sponsor who meets the financial criteria. And don't forget, the living expense proof is separate from tuition, so budget for both. In 2025, simply wanting to study in Australia isn't enough. You have to prove you can afford to live here before you even step on the plane. Those who plan ahead will find the process smoother, while those who leave it too late may find the door firmly closed. Number 4. Age and duration limits reduced for graduate visas. For years, Australia's temporary graduate visa, subclass 485, was a safety net for international students who wanted to stay and work after completing their studies. But in 2025, that safety net just got smaller. The maximum age limit for applicants has been cut from 50 years down to 35. This means anyone older than 35 at the time of application will no longer qualify, no matter how qualified, skilled, or integrated they are in Australian society. The government says the change is meant to target younger graduates with longer potential work lives in Australia. But for many who've invested years studying here, often alongside raising families, this rule feels like the rug has been pulled out from under them. Imagine spending tens of thousands on a degree, only to discover you're ineligible to stay because you've crossed an invisible birthday deadline. For mature students or career changers, it's especially crushing. If you're nearing the age limit, timing is everything. Apply as soon as you complete your studies. Don't wait months thinking you have time. Even a delay of a few weeks could push you over the limit. If you're already over 35, you may need to explore other visa options such as skilled migration, employer sponsorship, or regional visas. The harsh truth in 2025 is that the graduate visa is no longer a one-size-fits-all bridge to permanent residency. For some, the clock has already run out. For others, the countdown is ticking fast. Acting early could make the difference between building your career in Australia or having to start over somewhere else. Number 5. Caps and shifts in permanent migration program. In 2025, Australia's permanent migration program is getting a major reshuffle, and it could dramatically change who gets to stay. The overall permanent intake is capped at 185,000 places, but the way those places are distributed has shifted. The number of skilled independent visas, often seen as the most flexible pathway to permanent residency, has been reduced to just 16,900 spots. At the same time, the government is giving more weight to employer-sponsored visas, increasing that category to 44,000 places. This change means that relying on your skills alone, without employer backing, has become much riskier. In the past, highly qualified professionals could apply independently and have a fair shot. But now, unless you secure a sponsoring employer, your chances are slimmer than ever. For some, this could mean scrambling to find a company willing to sponsor them. For others, it could mean moving to a regional area to take advantage of more generous quotas there. If you're aiming for permanent residency, adapt your strategy now. Build relationships with potential employers in your industry and consider regional opportunities where competition is lower. Keep your resume, LinkedIn profile, and professional references up to date, and be proactive in demonstrating why an employer should sponsor you. In 2025, independence in migration is no longer the safest route. Collaboration with an employer might be the lifeline that secures your place in Australia for good. We put hours of research and hard work into bringing you the clearest breakdown of Australia's new immigration rules. So if this video has helped you, show your support with just one click on that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us, and it helps us keep making content that could change your future. Now tell us in the comments, which of these new rules surprised you the most, and why? We read every single one.
Number 6. New visa types and replacement programs. In 2025, Australia is phasing out some of its well-known visa categories and replacing them with brand new programs, a move that could either open new doors or shut them entirely, depending on your situation. One major change is the introduction of the Skills in Demand (SID) visa and the National Innovation Visa, which replace the long-running Global Talent Visa. These new visas are designed to target workers in industries the government considers critical to Australia's future, from advanced tech and healthcare to renewable energy and engineering. On the surface, this sounds like an exciting opportunity for highly skilled professionals, but the catch is that the eligibility criteria are becoming more targeted and selective. Where the Global Talent Visa offered a broader entry point for exceptional individuals, the new visas focus heavily on very specific roles, proven work experience, and employer sponsorship or nomination. If your skill set isn't on the list, no matter how talented you are, your chances drop dramatically. The smart move? Study the new criteria closely and match your qualifications to Australia's priority skills list. If you're not quite there yet, consider upskilling or gaining experience in industries that are in demand. Reach out to employers in these sectors early and be prepared to present a strong case for why you fit into Australia's future workforce needs. In 2025, it's not enough to be skilled. You have to be the right kind of skilled to make it through the door. Number 7. Updated English language flexibility. For years, English language testing has been one of the biggest hurdles for visa applicants, with strict limits on which exams were accepted. But starting 7 August 2025, Australia is expanding its list of approved tests to include CLPP, Language Cert, and the Michigan English Test, MIT, alongside the traditional IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE academic. On the surface, this might look like a purely positive change, and for many, it will be. Having more test options means you can choose the format that best suits your strengths, whether that's computer-based, paper-based, or heavily focused on certain skills like speaking or writing. However, there's a twist. While the variety of tests is increasing, the minimum score requirements remain strict, and in some cases, test structures differ in ways that could trip you up if you're unprepared. For example, some of the new tests are less forgiving with time limits or have different question types that require a new preparation strategy. Relying on your past IELTS study plan might not be enough to guarantee the score you need in a new test format. If you're planning to apply for a visa in 2025, the key is to research and choose your test wisely. Take practice exams for different formats and see which one aligns with your skills. If speaking fluently under time pressure is a challenge, maybe avoid tests with strict oral interview sections. If writing essays is your strong suit, pick a test that gives it more weight. The expanded list gives you more freedom, but that freedom only helps if you prepare strategically. In 2025, your choice of test could be the difference between a smooth application and a heartbreaking rejection. Number 8. Family sponsorship scrutiny increases. If you are hoping to bring family members to Australia in 2025, be prepared for more intense background checks than ever before. Under the new rules, all family sponsors must now pass mandatory character assessments and provide police clearances, often from every country they've lived in for 12 months or more during the past decade. On top of that, sponsors must prove they have the financial capacity to support their relatives, not just during the visa process, but for a set period after arrival. The government says this change is aimed at protecting migrants from exploitation and reducing the burden on public services. While that's an important goal, it also means delays, higher documentation costs, and extra complexity for legitimate applicants. A minor paperwork error, like an incomplete police clearance, could cause months of waiting or even a visa refusal. For families hoping to reunite quickly, this can be emotionally and financially draining. If you're planning a family sponsorship in 2025, start the paperwork early. Police checks from overseas can take weeks or even months to arrive, and you don't want to be stuck waiting for a single missing document. Gather proof of your income, assets, and housing situation to demonstrate you can provide adequate support. Most importantly, double-check the exact requirements for your specific sponsorship category. The rules can vary depending on whether you're sponsoring a partner, child, or parent. In 2025, family visas are still possible, but only for those who are organized, transparent, and fully prepared for the extra layers of scrutiny. Number 9. Restrictions on low-skilled visa holders sponsoring family. A major change in 2025 is hitting a group of migrants who've often flown under the radar, workers in lower-skilled occupations. Under the new rules, visa holders in ANZ ESCO skill levels 4 and 5, which include many hospitality, cleaning, labouring, and retail roles, will no longer be able to sponsor partners or dependent family members to join them in Australia. This restriction applies even if you've been working here for years, paying taxes, and following every visa condition to the letter. The government argues that these roles don't meet the long-term skill needs of the country, and that allowing family sponsorship in these cases has placed additional pressure on housing and services. While that's the official reasoning, the personal impact can be devastating. Imagine moving to Australia for honest work, only to find out that you can't live with your spouse or children unless you completely change your occupation or qualify for a higher skilled visa. For many, it's not just a career decision, it's a deeply emotional one. If you're currently in a lower skilled role but want to bring your family to Australia, now is the time to take action. Look into training or qualifications that could bump your job into a higher skill classification. Explore pathways like employer sponsorship in a higher skilled position or regional visa programs that might offer more flexibility. The hard truth in 2025 is that your occupation title can directly shape your family's future here, so if it's standing in your way, it may be worth changing it before it's too late. Number 10. International Student Cap adjusted. In 2025-26, Australia is making one of its boldest moves yet in education migration policy, adjusting the international student cap to 295,000 places. At first glance, that sounds like good news because it's higher than the previous year's limit. But the real twist lies in who gets those places. The government is prioritising students from Southeast Asia and those enrolled in universities that can provide on-campus housing or prove they have secured accommodation for students before arrival. This shift is meant to ease housing pressures in major cities while strengthening Australia's ties with neighbouring countries. But for students from other regions, the path just got narrower. Even highly qualified applicants may lose out if they don't meet these new preferred categories. Imagine getting accepted into a top Australian university only to find your student visa rejected because your institution doesn't tick the housing box, or because your home country isn't in the priority list. If you're an aspiring student, choose your institution strategically. Look for universities that are investing in accommodation and have strong reputations for compliance with immigration rules. If your dream university doesn't offer housing, secure a rental agreement or proof of living arrangements before applying. And if you're from outside Southeast Asia, consider applying early, as competition for your quota will be fierce. In 2025, getting into the classroom isn't just about grades, it's about fitting into the government's new migration priorities. The winners will be those who understand the fine print and plan ahead accordingly. The truth is, 2025 is a turning point for Australia's immigration system. From higher income thresholds and stricter financial proofs to reduced age limits, new visa programs, and tighter family sponsorship rules, every change carries the power to shape lives, careers, and futures. Some of these rules open new doors for those with the right skills or preparation, while others close pathways that many have relied on for years. What's clear is that in this new landscape, waiting and hoping is no longer a strategy. Whether you're a skilled worker, a student, or someone hoping to bring family to Australia, you need to be informed, prepared, and proactive. Check your eligibility now, adjust your plans if necessary, and explore every possible pathway before deadlines and quotas leave you locked out. The people who will thrive in 2025 are not just the most skilled, they're the most informed. You've now seen the 10 key reasons that could determine who stays and who has to leave. The next move is yours, so stay ahead of the changes, protect your future, and remember, in immigration, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival.